What's going on, guys? G2 here. Welcome back to the channel. And we just did a video on a Odyssey Stroke Labs number 7 putter. It's actually right over here. That had broken right here. So the graphite shaft broke where it connects with the metal hosel, we'll just call it, or the metal shaft that goes into the hosel. Now, we completely reshafted this putter with the new shaft. You need to see that video. You can check it. I'll link it right up here. But for those of you who may not have an extra shaft laying around, or maybe you had an easy break like we did, our break actually occurred right here at the junction point. It didn't break all the way through. It just kind of went halfway. So what we did too, when we've tested this out in the putter, and it worked actually great, it allows you to use the same shaft. You don't change anything. You just have to make sure when you pull it out, you have, I would say, 50% of this shaft still in place. You can have a little crack there, but anything more than that, sheared off, it's probably not going to work. So we had a very special circumstance for this. So every shaft has a hole down here at the bottom. Every graphite looks kind of something like this. So knowing that our break was right here at the junction point, this is 1 3/4 inches. I used a long Allen wrench. Now this is a smaller one. Mine was about maybe 3 times that size, so close to, if we were looking at the actual break, the Allen wrench comes about halfway up into here. So it's if that's a 1 1/4 inch, that was probably a 4-inch, 3.5-inch Allen wrench. And I cut off the top. So we basically had a splint, so to speak, a metal bar. Now it doesn't have to be an Allen wrench. You can use whatever you want, as long as it's the diameter of your shaft. And we just placed that all the way in, put a lot of epoxy in there. It was a pretty snug fit, so it was pretty good. We epoxied inside the shaft, epoxied the Allen wrench, put it all together. So in theory, that Allen wrench is sitting just like this in there, supporting that break. And you can see this is perfectly fine. Now on the end here, we just used a typical plug that you would use on a blind bore shaft, and put it in there and glued it up. And it worked fine. Here's the challenge though. As with any shaft, the reason these are in here and they're hollow is when you place that into the hosel, it's vacuum sealed, so you will get the shaft will kind of push back on you. So in order to mitigate that, what we did is we created a notch right up the side of the shaft. I don't know if you can see it or not. Basically as an air escape. Just used the Dremel and just made a very small, almost cutout, so that air could escape out and out the top of the shaft. And that allowed us to put it in without the pushback. And this worked great. So if you have this situation where your shaft for your Odyssey Stroke Lab has cracked, but it's still salvageable, it's an easy fix for you to maintain the original shaft and not have to get a new replacement. Save you a couple $100.